Alright, so you are curious on how long it takes to purchase a house. Well, in this video, we are going to be going by step, the different processes on how long that timeline is going to take for you. So stay tuned. How's it going, everybody, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Jens Nielsen and I'm a local real estate agent here in the state of Utah. On my channel, I go over everything when it comes to home buying, selling, investing, and relocating tips here to the state of Utah. I also go over new construction home tours, market updates, and more. So if that interests you, hit that subscribe and the like button so you stay tuned for future content. In this video today, we are going to be going over the different processes, the two different types of homes that you can purchase, how long those timelines typically take, what you should expect as a first-time home buyer, and much more. And make sure you stay tuned to the end of the video for a bonus tip and a free download just for you. So the short answer for this question is typically it's going to come down to pre-existing homes or new construction. Pre-existing is going to take anywhere from 1 to 3 months, maybe more, but average is 1 to 3 months. And new construction can vary from 3 all the way to a year or even 18 months. And we're going to break down those different parts for you. One of the first things that you should focus on when it comes to buying a house and the timeline are your finances in line to be able to purchase a house. Typically, for the most part, most buyers are paying anywhere from 0 to 20% down payment for their home. Now that can vary completely. There are plenty of different loan programs out there for each individual buyer. And for the most part, most first-time buyers pay anywhere from 0 to 5%. So if you were purchasing a $400,000 house, that could cost you for a down payment anywhere from 0 all the way up to $20,000. If you have that money saved, then great, you are in a very strong position. The other thing to keep in mind when it comes to costs for purchasing a home are closing costs. In the state of Utah, those typically run anywhere from 1 to 3%. It can vary completely depending on the market, the area, taxes, insurance, and so much more. So make sure you talk to your local lender and they can give you a breakdown on what they estimate your closing costs will be. One of the best things that you can do when you get started for purchasing a house is talking to your local lender. They can take a look at your whole financial situation and give you the best scenario of what you should do and what type of loan programs are going to be best for you. You might be able to get a perfect 0% down loan program for you. That means you don't have to nearly save up as much. And if you don't have that much money, you can get into a house a lot quicker. Let's say for your situation, you need 3.5%. If you have about 2% saved up, okay, then you're gonna have to budget how much you have to save each month. If you were just short $5,000 to be able to purchase a home with down payment and closing costs, then budget that over the next 5 months. Say save $1,000 a month to be able to prepare and plan for that. After you figure out your finances and you're prepared to be able to have that down payment and closing costs, you're more than half of the way there. So the two different types of homes that I mentioned in the beginning of the video are pre-existing or homes that are already built or new construction. These two different types of homes vary completely differently when it comes to timeline for purchasing a home. For pre-existing homes, you could typically get into a home within 30 to 45 days after you have an accepted contract. For new construction, for the most part, you're going to be seeing about 6 to 12 months waiting after you have something under contract. Now there are some builders, and we will talk about it, that can do that a little bit quicker. So starting off with number 1, pre-existing homes. What is the process and how long should the timeline roughly be to be able to get into your house? So to break it down, there are about 5 steps and different timelines during that pre-existing home search to be able to get into your house. One is going to be get qualified and set your search criteria. This can take anywhere from 1 to 3 days. Now it varies completely. Talk to your lender. Most lenders can get you a pre-approval in 1 or 2 days. And during that time, you can set the criteria of what type of homes you're searching for with your local real estate agent. After you have a pre-approval and a set criteria of homes that you're looking for, you're going to start looking for homes and putting in some offers. This can vary completely differently upon each buyer. Typically, I would just say plan on anywhere from 1 to 90 days, 3 months. It varies completely based on the market and what's available in your area. I've personally worked with buyers where we only searched for 7 days and we were able to get something under contract. I've also worked with some buyers where we searched for 2 months and finally were able to get something under contract. Just keep in mind that that can vary completely. Next is number 3, offer acceptance. Typically, once you put in an offer, it's about 1 to 2 days before you hear anything back about if your offer is accepted or not. Number 4 is going to be the escrow period. Typically, for the most part, I would say anywhere between 30 to 45 days is going to be enough time for an escrow period. That means that once your offer is accepted, you have some certain deadlines to complete before you close on the home. Typically, you're going to have about 15 days for due diligence. Right now in this market, you might be doing a little bit less because the offers are super competitive. And then you'll typically have 15 or more days for your financing and appraisal deadline. That's going to give you time to make sure that your loan can get set up perfectly and close right on time, and that you can get the appraisal back and make sure that there's no issues with it. Or you can solve those issues if those issues arise. And then lastly, part 5 is closing. Typically that only takes a day or 2, and it's still within the escrow period. So while these are all averages, it can vary completely differently. I've been able to get someone under contract within 7 days and then close within 30 days. And then others, we were able to get under contract within 2 months, and then we had to wait anywhere between 60 days because there were some issues with the contract, but we were still able to get them closed. Now, for the most part, the pre-existing is still going to be a little bit quicker, but that brings us to number 2, which is new construction homes. So typically, for the most part, you're going to be purchasing a new construction home that may be a spec, or it may be something that you kind of semi-customize along the way. For the most part, most builders won't start building the home until you have an executed contract with them. There are some builders, like for example D.R. Horton, where in some of their communities, they aren't selling the homes until after the framing has been completed. So that typically means that from there, you're only looking at about 3 months until you can close on the home. It could be a quicker option, but for the most part, plan on anywhere from 6 to 12 months to be able to get into your home. Now, one of the great things about new construction is that if you don't have all the full down payment or closing costs to be able to close on the home, that timeline gives you enough time to be able to save up for those costs. So while you can still get something under contract, you're saving up for your down payment and closing costs and still have a home under contract. Now, for the most part, the timeline is going to be pretty similar except for the escrow period. The first part, number 1, is getting your pre-approval and setting your home site search criteria. During that time, you're going to get a pre-approval from your preferred lender and then finding out which of the builders or areas that you like the most and writing up an offer. Touring the properties and putting in offers can vary as well. Now, it just depends on the current market. In the recent market that we had here in Utah, it was very difficult to even still get a new construction home. I was able to do it with my clients. On one of them, we put in a couple offers on a certain community for a townhome. After about a month, we were finally able to get something under contract. But with some of my other clients, I was able to get them under contract on the first offer. Part number 3 is offer acceptance, which is pretty much the same. About 1 to 2 days to hear back from the builder if your offer was accepted. Now, part number 4 is where it varies completely. Like I said, this part is the escrow period where you do your due diligence, the financing, and appraisal. During that time, you have to wait for the home to be built. So that could be anywhere from 90 to 365 days. Like I said, it varies completely with the different builders. So check with the builder and kind of get an estimated timeline on when you could be able to close. And then lastly, closing is about the same, 1 to 2 days. It's pretty quick. Once they have a good idea of when you should be able to close, you'll do a final walkthrough and then close on the home. So as you can tell, both of those timelines are pretty much the same except for the escrow period. That period will vary differently based on the 2 different types of homes, the pre-existing and the new construction. So when it comes down to it, how long is it going to take for you to purchase your home? Well, it's going to vary based on if your finances are set up, what loan program you're going to be taking advantage of, how much down, what are the closing costs, how much you have to save up, and then whether you want to go pre-existing or new construction. Both are great options, and if you have any questions about it, put them down below and I'm happy to answer those questions for you. And lastly, the bonus tip, like I mentioned earlier, is going to be figure out if you can qualify for a 2-1 ARM or 2-1 buy down. Currently, right now, a lot of people are worried because of the rising interest rates. Well, there are several different loan programs that can help you to still be able to get into a home and take advantage of a temporary lower interest rate. If you have more questions about that, here's my contact information. I'm happy to answer some of those questions for you and refer you to my local lender that can answer all of those details specifically. And like I also mentioned earlier, there is a bonus download that you can get. Down below, I'll put the link of a home buying guide. So if you have any questions, you can refer to that guide. Just click on the link below and you'll be able to get that free download. If you have any questions when it comes to the real estate market here in the state of Utah, any questions about new construction, pre-existing, anything that we've gone over in the video, here's my contact information. Let's get in touch. I'm happy to answer those questions for you. Other than that, thank you so much for watching this video, and we'll see you on the next one.